Hi friends, thank you for taking time out of your week to spend a little with me. As always, I appreciate you. So the case we're discussing this week is one that's been on my list for quite some time. And if you are anything like me, you might be familiar with this one. Back in the mid to late 2000s, VH1 introduced a series of celebrity shows, and I was obsessed with them. I watched them all. And just as quick as they could, VH1 pumped them out one after the other until 2009 when it all came to a halt due to this case. So as always, I invite you to join me as we remember Jasmine Fiore. Jasmine was born in 1981 to mother Lisa Lepore. Early on, her parents divorced, leaving Lisa to raise her daughter as a single mother in Bonnie Doon, California. Lisa described Jasmine as a great kid and a lot of fun. She also stated her daughter was smart and knew what she wanted. She had a plan for everything. Growing up, Jasmine was very much a tomboy and loved playing sports. She was ambitious and always had her sights set on more. Bonnie Doon was too small for Jasmine. She had aspirations of being a model with her ultimate goal of being a centerfold for Playboy magazine. She left her job at the local grocery store and pursued modeling in 2000. Jasmine found some success in swimsuit modeling and as a body paint model for parties. With some experience under her belt, Jasmine started submitting her photos to Playboy in hopes of being chosen as one of the 12 to be featured. In the early 2000s, auditions for Playboy were competitive, and becoming a centerfold was not only ambitious but a difficult achievement. And despite Jasmine being a beautiful woman, she unfortunately wasn't chosen. However, her looks did fit the Playboy lifestyle at the time, so she was invited to the Playboy mansion to attend their Fun in the Sun parties. And although her looks got her in the door, her personality solidified her spot in the Playboy circle. Jasmine's friends stated she was sweet, courteous, and soft-spoken. They described her as pure energy, claiming the smile Jasmine always wore was genuine. In 2004, Jasmine was asked to join the Girls of Playboy Golf, a position she excitedly accepted. Even though this wasn't a fast track to land her a spot on the cover, she knew it was a stepping stone in the goals she wanted to achieve. After a year of being a golf girl, Jasmine was offered the position of event coordinator, where she would be responsible for organizing parties in both LA and Las Vegas. Again, a role she accepted excitedly. Jasmine loved the Playboy lifestyle and everything it stood for, and doors for her continued to open. As a coordinator, Jasmine was set up to meet people and create new opportunities for herself. This included additional modeling jobs, participation in Las Vegas casino shows, and acting in adult phone line commercials. And it was during one of her nights in the casinos when she met a man she later described as her soulmate, Ryan Jenkins. Ryan Jenkins was a Canadian native from the province of Calgary, a self-proclaimed millionaire working as a real estate developer in Las Vegas. Ryan wanted more. He wanted stardom. He would get his chance when the production company 51 Minds announced their latest casting call. Around 2003, VH1 launched the celebrity genre with the show Surreal Life, which brought C-list celebrities into a house and had them all live together while the cameras caught every moment. Due to the immediate success, VH1 asked 51 Minds for more, and they produced, bringing audiences shows of the Bachelor genre, with Flavor of Love starring Flavor Flav of Public Enemy, and Rock of Love starring Bret Michaels from Poison. The premise of these shows were the same, in which 21 women were cast to compete for the love of the celebrity. Several cast members who became fan favorites were offered their own shows, and this is how they found Megan Hauserman. Megan was a former Playboy model who started a career in reality TV on the show Beauty and the Geek. She was later cast in the second season of Rock of Love 2 with Bret Michaels, where she quickly became a fan favorite. Due to her popularity, Megan was invited to take part in several other 51 Minds spin-offs, such as I Love Money and Charm School, both competition-based shows with a monetary grand prize. Megan was a great TV personality who had many one-liners, such as stating her only ambition in life was to be a trophy wife, and founder of 51 Minds Mark Cronin formulated another idea. Megan was offered her own show in 2009, where the premise was Megan was on the search for a rich husband to take care of her. Hence the name Megan Once a Millionaire. The casting call asked for 17 single men of the highest pedigree with a net worth of $1 million or more. And 32-year-old Ryan Jenkins felt he ticked all of the boxes. Not only did he claim to have all of this money, but he had a cocky charm about him. Producers in charge of casting stated though Ryan wasn't the best looking guy, he had the best personality. He was really intriguing and he knew it. Ryan stated in one of his interviews he was Prince Charming but a little bit of a bad boy as well, and without hesitation he was given a spot on the show. Meghan has since stated she saw red flags regarding his wealth while on the show, since Ryan sported fake Rolexes and only had one pair of pants for 5 weeks worth of filming, but she didn't mind since he was very sweet towards her. From the beginning of the show, Meghan liked Ryan. He went out of his way to write her letters and provide tokens of affection to keep her attention on him, and it worked. Meghan and Ryan exchanged numbers during filming and would talk outside of the camera, with late-night conversations, and the two developed a relationship in secret. Meghan remarked how jealous Ryan would get anytime she spent time with other contestants. He didn't want her kissing or dating the other men, despite the whole point of the show was for her to date all of the contestants. But Meghan didn't mind his attitude, and she kept Ryan until the very end of the competition. She even told him she wanted to pick him as the winner. However, when Meghan disclosed to producers her plan, they quickly tried to steer her decision. According to the producers, the audiences didn't want Ryan to win because he wasn't likable enough in his interviews. With producer influence, Meghan decided to eliminate Ryan during the finale. She planned to call him as soon as filming was complete to explain what happened and let him know she still wanted to be with him. 3 days after the elimination, Meghan called Ryan, but before she could explain what happened, Ryan had news of his own. According to Meghan, he stated, "I have to tell you something. I was so upset when I left the show, I went to Vegas and I met a girl. She's my soulmate and we got married." Ryan and Jasmine's relationship was a whirlwind romance in the beginning. The pair met on March 16, 2009 in a casino in Las Vegas, where he asked her for her number. Jasmine took Ryan's phone and put her number in it along with her birthday. When she returned it to him, he realized their birthdays were just days apart and thought this was a sign that she was the one, and Jasmine felt the same. 2 days after meeting, the pair married on March 18, 2009 at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas. Together, the two felt like they could be the next glamorous power couple of Las Vegas, with Ryan an up-and-coming reality TV personality and Jasmine a beautiful model. But it was all a facade. Initially, the two were happy, but the marital bliss soon faded since Jasmine didn't know how to handle their impending problems. The truth was Ryan had no money. His real estate development wealth was actually his father's, and Ryan had no part in it. He claimed his money was stuck in Canada and he had no way of getting it into the country, so Jasmine became head of their household. She thought her husband would take care of her, but Ryan took advantage of the situation. Jasmine worked hard for her money, and her husband didn't contribute at all, resulting in resentment since he made promises he couldn't keep. And much like his relationship with Meghan, Ryan was very jealous when it came to Jasmine, which made her career and social life difficult. Jasmine's career choices required her to be friendly with other men, and he couldn't handle this. Even though she was married, Jasmine often kept in contact with previous exes, and with her relationship falling apart, she sought comfort elsewhere. Around a month after they married, Jasmine and Ryan were out for the evening with Jasmine's ex-fiancé Travis Heinrich. Jasmine and Travis couldn't make their relationship work, but continued to see each other off and on prior to Ryan. During this encounter, Ryan claimed to see Jasmine kiss Travis, and he responded by hitting Jasmine in her arm, and she fell into the pool. Jasmine pressed charges against Ryan, and he was arrested, where he spent the night in jail. A trial for the assault was set for December 2009. Jasmine and Ryan separated for a short period of time after his arrest. During their separation, Ryan reached out to Meghan. The two met up in Los Angeles in June of 2009. Meghan stated Ryan lost weight, was shaky and paranoid. He explained to her that he didn't want to lose Jasmine. She felt he was obsessed with her and he couldn't accept rejection. Around the same time, 51 Minds were casting for I Love Money 3, a competition show where former contestants are flown to Mexico and put to the test, completing challenges both physical and mental for a cash prize of $250,000. And they wanted Ryan. Meghan convinced Ryan to join the cast so he and Jasmine could have time from each other and think about what they really wanted. And he agreed, not to get away from her, but to win the money. Ryan flew to Mexico to film in July of 2009, while Jasmine stayed in Las Vegas trying to get away from Ryan. She dyed her hair and attempted to get their marriage annulled. According to Mark Cronin, Ryan was obsessed with winning the show because he felt if he had the money, he could ultimately win back his wife. He stated Ryan was desperate to have a trophy wife. He sent her emails where he claimed he was going to do better and he couldn't live without her. Ryan called home constantly trying to keep tabs on Jasmine. One minute he would express that he was going to win the show and they were going to have the life he always promised. Then he would ask her where she was the night before. Being in Mexico only seemed to grow his jealousy and suspicions that Jasmine was cheating on him. Ryan did go on to win the show and return back to Las Vegas in August of 2009, where for the time, things seemed to go back to normal. Jasmine and Ryan attempted to reconcile what they once had, but it seemed the damage was done. On August 13, 2009, Ryan and Jasmine decided to attend a poker tournament charity fundraiser for the Karma Foundation at the Hilton in San Diego, California. This was the last time anyone saw Jasmine. On August 14, 2009, Ryan reported Jasmine as missing. Per the report filed, he claimed Jasmine left their home to run errands when they returned from San Diego, and he had not seen or heard from her since. The following morning, August 15, 2009, in Buena Park, California, police received a call from someone who was out collecting cans. Per the caller, while looking near a dumpster, they noticed a suitcase with hair sticking out. They believed it held a deceased child. Police arrived on the scene and quickly realized the body in the suitcase was not a child, but a woman. The woman's nude body was badly beaten, her nose was broken, and it was nearly impossible to get a positive identification due to the damage. Another problem with the identification process was the victim's fingertips and teeth were removed. A sketch artist was brought in to create a composite sketch which was released to the public in hopes of someone providing a lead. On August 17th, police attempted to contact Ryan about his wife's missing persons case and their current Jane Doe. Ryan answered and explained he was unable to come in because he was in Utah and was leaving for Canada due to immigration issues. The victim was transported to the coroner's office where an autopsy was performed. Her cause of death was revealed as strangulation, and her time of death was placed just hours before her body was discovered. Besides the extensive trauma dealt, they discovered significant blood loss and signs of her hair being pulled. During the autopsy, the coroner discovered something. The young woman previously received breast augmentation surgery. The implants were removed, which contained serial numbers. These numbers were able to finally put a name to their Jane Doe, Jasmine Fiore. Jasmine was officially identified on August 18, 2009. Shortly after the discovery of her body, Jasmine's white Mercedes was found abandoned in a parking lot in West Hollywood. It was about a mile from the penthouse she shared with Ryan in the Fairfax district. Inside, they discovered blood evidence and signs of a struggle. Jasmine was linked to the missing persons report filed by her husband, Ryan Jenkins. LAPD attempted to contact Ryan, but he wouldn't answer. While performing further tests during the autopsy, it was discovered that Jasmine's body had male DNA in it. This DNA was submitted to databases for possible identification, and they got a hit. The DNA belonged to a man named Michael Cardosi, who was a recent parolee and the ex-husband of Jasmine. Michael had a lengthy sentence in prison for drug trafficking. Immediately, Michael became a suspect in the case due to the obvious evidence. During his interview, Michael was very transparent. He stated on August 11, 2009, Jasmine drove to San Diego to see him for his prison release. He claimed Jasmine and himself cared for each other, and the only reason they divorced was because he went to prison. When he was released, they picked up where they left off. Police believed Michael's story because he had a pretty solid alibi, an ankle monitor. He wouldn't have been able to leave his home in order to leave Jasmine's body where it was found, so he was cleared. Since police still couldn't find Ryan to speak to him, they started growing more suspicious. Authorities performed a background check on Ryan where they found some surprising information. Other than his charge with Jasmine, Ryan had a previous assault charge out of Canada where he struck another girlfriend. He was sentenced to 15 months probation and a therapy program. Ryan's absence and violent nature pushed him up to prime suspect. Search warrants were rushed for Jasmine and Ryan's phone records, which provided police with photos, videos, and text messages. From these messages, police were able to gain their next lead, the poker tournament. As previously mentioned, Jasmine and Ryan attended a poker tournament on August 13, 2009, where they stayed at the La Berge Hotel in San Diego, a hotel which boasted an impressive surveillance system. From hotel cameras, police determined the two arrived around 3:28 p.m. in Jasmine's Mercedes. They got out of the car and loaded all of the luggage on the dolly. While viewing the footage, they noticed one of the bags was the same one her body was discovered in. Next, they are seen going into their room, where they did not emerge again until 6:25 p.m. when they left for the poker tournament. Through accounts, Jasmine and Ryan were arguing all night, and presumably it was due to Jasmine texting another man, Robert Hasman. Robert was a high-end realtor and previous boyfriend of Jasmine. He spoiled her and showed her the finer side of life. Per the message records, Jasmine sent Robert messages while at the tournament, which read, "Send a plane for me. Come get me. I'm coming back to Vegas to be with you. I'm done with Ryan Jenkins." Their arguing became so intense by some witness accounts that the couple opted to just leave the tournament. They arrived at the Ivy, a club/hotel, around 12:30 a.m. where the arguing just continued. Many speculated Ryan might have found out about her messages with Robert. Robert received one last message from Jasmine's phone, which read, "Suck it." He immediately knew it wasn't her. Jasmine and Ryan left the Ivy at 1:30 a.m. Ryan wasn't seen on surveillance at the hotel until 4:30 a.m., where he rushed into the hotel room. The footage never shows Jasmine entering the room. Ryan was then seen on camera leaving the room by himself, clothes in his arms, at 6:24 a.m. Although the room by this point was cleaned by staff, police still investigated. They discovered the room, which was on the ground floor, had a small patio that provided access from the room to the parking lot. The patio became the smoking gun, so to speak. A small amount of blood and hair were discovered, which matched Jasmine's. Police started to piece together what they thought might have happened. They believed that Ryan discovered Jasmine was not only talking to her ex, but was planning to leave Ryan. He assaulted her to the point where she was disoriented. They speculated Jasmine was probably unable to walk on her own and he didn't want to bring her through the lobby. So he placed her on the patio and ran through the lobby, where she was pulled through the back door into the room. Ryan knew he couldn't let Jasmine go in her condition. She was going to press more charges, so he decided to end her life. After strangling her, he removed her fingertips and teeth, then placed her in a suitcase. Upon checkout, he placed the suitcase on the back patio, since he was not seen carrying any suitcases out, and he retrieved it before driving off. After this discovery, a warrant for Ryan was issued for the murder of Jasmine on August 20th, 2009. An international manhunt was underway. Ryan's picture was posted on local and national news. The problem, though, was no one knew where Ryan was, and feared he was on the run hoping to cross the Canadian border. Neighbors reported seeing Ryan leave his home on August 16, 2009 with luggage around 9 a.m. He went to Las Vegas, where he loaded up his speedboat. APBs were sent out for Ryan's black BMW SUV. The Canadian authorities were alerted to be on the lookout for Ryan. For days, authorities tracked Ryan through tips, where he was finally placed near Point Roberts, Washington. On August 19th, he called his father, where he was informed that Jasmine was found murdered, and police zoned in on the area. The sheriff's department received a call that a black BMW SUV towing a boat was seen parked at a marina in Blaine, Washington. But by the time authorities arrived, the engine was still warm and the boat trailer was empty. Later the same night, the U.S. Coast Guard was notified about a boat speeding near the Canadian border. When they tracked down the boat, Ryan was positively identified as the driver and a chase ensued. But unfortunately, due to the conditions of the water and time of night, they lost him. Ryan's boat was later discovered parked at a marina about a half-mile from the Canadian border. They believed at this point Ryan fled on foot, since in this area, no fence separates Canada from the United States. Ryan wasn't seen again until August 20th. Around 6 p.m. he arrived at the Thunderbird Motel in Hope, British Columbia, Canada with his half-sister. She pulled the car beside a dumpster and left Ryan in a silver PT Cruiser while she went inside to rent a room. She purchased a room for 3 days with cash. The guest next door to Ryan stated the woman was only there for 20 minutes then left. Ryan was alone the rest of the time. He was seen by the manager the second day on August 21st, but the manager was unaware it was him due to his appearance. On August 23rd, the manager decided to check on the man in the room when he failed to check out. Inside the room, Ryan Jenkins was found dead by his own hand. He left no note behind, but police did later find on his computer a document titled Last Will and Testament, dated August 20th, 2009. An excerpt from this document stated, "I'm sure everyone feels I'm a monster. Let me tell you that Jasmine was in fact a far greater monster than I could ever be. I merely wanted to love someone. My heart and love for her was pure and powerful. It drove me and brought out the very best in me. I'm sorry for running away from responsibility. There's just no place for me in this world anymore. Jasmine was my key to happiness. The aftermath of Ryan Jenkins' crimes were a blow to reality television and brought about the question of whether contestants were truly safe in these scenarios. Per 51 Minds, Ryan Jenkins should have never been allowed on the show due to his prior charges from Canada. In 2009, there were no standardized systems for vetting potential candidates. They all filled out a packet, underwent psychological evaluations, and criminal background checks. Collective Intelligence private investigation firm was hired to perform these checks on contestants and was 51 Minds' go-to company. When Ryan's background check came back clear for the United States, they outsourced his Canadian record to Straight Line International, a Canadian firm. According to Straight Line International, his record in Canada escaped notice as a result of an error by the Canadian Clerk of Courts. Because of this issue, Ryan was allowed to join the cast and ultimately create a dark mark for the celebrity genre, since no one wanted to be associated with the murder. Megan Wants a Millionaire was only 3 weeks into its season when the news of Ryan's death became public. 2 days after this, VH1 canceled the remainder of the season and the unaired season of Isle of Money 3. Hi friends, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, so leave them below and we can chat about this case. If you found this to be informative, please consider giving the video a thumbs up to let YouTube know you want more from me. And lastly, if you haven't yet, you should subscribe because we would love to have you under the ash tree. I appreciate the love and support from our beautiful community here, and I can't express that enough. You all truly make my week, and I hope you have an awesome one as well. But for now, stay safe out there, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, friends.